is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm loving the color scheme today. I like it.
It's a nice Bordeaux, if you will.
I like that.
There you go. Well, all right. We heard from the January 6th committee yesterday, and they laid out new evidence that Donald Trump demanded then VP Mike Pence to join what they say was his legal efforts to overturn the 2020 election. We also heard how close Pence came to danger that day, with these new photos showing him in a parking garage under the Capitol, just steps away from the angry mob. We also heard about a phone call between Trump and Pence on that day. Here's what Ivanka Trump had to testify about it. Take a look.
When I entered the office the second time, he was on the telephone with who I later found out to be was the vice president. The conversation was pretty heated.
Other details about that phone call included the president calling Mike Pence, quote, a wimp, and another term for a female body part, in reference to his refusal to go along with the Trump's plan. Former President Trump is now hitting back on his social media platform. He demanded equal TV time to set out his case for election voter fraud and called the hearing a, quote, highly partisan witch hunt. So my biggest takeaway from this is the number 40 feet. I don't know if you guys know. As Mike Pence was leaving, because it was getting too much, he went down underground and within 40 feet of the rioters, and they showed this with a map of how close he came to them yelling, we're going to drag you, we're going to make you bloody, we're going to take you out, we're going to kill you. He was then taken down and spent 4.5 hours, which I didn't know, underground with his family because they were all too close. I find this fascinating. What do you think, Erica?
Well, actually, you and Al were having a pretty spirited discussion. So now that we're on the air, let's continue that.
Well,
you can tell the people we're like, okay, we'll talk on air. But here's what I think. We talk about this, but this is not just a show.
We do, because we were shocked by this.
I'm honestly, and I said this last week, I don't think that we give, I never thought I'd say this phrase.
I never thought you would either.
We did not give Mike Pence his flowers for what he did. What he did was courageous, because we always talk about both sides, Erica, and we want to be equal on both sides. Both sides do not like him, which is amazing. The Trump supporters literally wanted to kill him. He's offended every community, LGBTQ. I mean, he's not well liked. But in that moment, his convictions about what this country was and what it stood for was the only thing that, because think about this, Kabi. If he decertifies that election, and he throws it back to the states that already had, remember Arizona with their shady, they were ready to confiscate voting machines. So now they throw it back to the states. If it comes back for Trump, no one's going to feel that. If it comes back for Biden again, they're going to say it was corrupted. That could have been our last election had Mike Pence not done what he'd done. I've never said anything good about that man, but he stood his ground right there, and I don't know how many people on the planet could have done it. I don't know if I could.
Let me finish off with that, Al, and say this. I don't know if y'all know this. A Secret Service at one point said, we need to get you in the car. And usually if Secret Service say that, they're like getting you in. He refused to get in the car because leaving that space and not certifying that election 4 hours later would have led to a constitutional crisis. So I also agree, Mike Pence saved American democracy.
I don't think that's being too heavy-handed.
I don't think people have said that. And I also want to say how awful of a president, a former president, to have tweeted, and when he did, this is when the surge happened, he tweeted out, Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done. And that's when the surge occurred, when they had to take him downstairs.
Wow.
So there are a lot of people who are saying what actually matters most right now is not the January 6th insurrection. It's money. It's the economy, right? So in an interview with the AP, President Biden addressed the issue, saying that Americans are, quote, really, really down amid record inflation and the fallout from the pandemic. He also said a recession is not inevitable. The president said arguments that he's to blame for inflation are bizarre. Instead, he's blaming the economic fallout from the pandemic. So who do you think is to blame for record high inflation? Is it the president? What do you guys think? A lot of people saying, for instance, Biden shut off the Keystone XL pipeline day one. Why? Now truckers aren't going to be able to afford diesel to bring stuff to the stores. A lot of people angry about this, Erica. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if Biden is to blame. I think that when we're talking about a recession and this, crazy inflation, everything is up, right?
8.6, yeah.
That does not happen overnight. And I think that when we were celebrating all of the super low gas prices just a couple summers ago and everybody was jumping in their car doing their road trips, there was a bounce back from that. Yes, it's true. But obviously, the country has not been fracking. There hasn't, that has not occurred at the rate that it has in the past. And we are seeing all of these things come together. We also had a flood of foreign oil. I don't want to get into all the gas.
Sure, because gas and inflation are almost like two different things a little bit.
Right. But in terms of what we're seeing at the grocery stores, what we're seeing for basic necessities, I don't know if we can just say it's all Biden's fault. I think that this has been some time coming. Obviously, the pandemic did not help. Obviously, there's a war going on, which isn't helping. We have so many breaks in the chains when it comes to food or general supplies, our commodities. So it's like, I mean, it's just the perfect storm. And what really bothers me the most about what Biden said was that the recession isn't inevitable. And I don't want people to hear that and be like, oh, we're fine, because we're not. Like, people need to be prepared, whatever that means to you.
Right. Erica, you said prepared, and it just like, that's what I really wish we had done coming right out of COVID. We had all been locked down for 2.5 years, and I wish we had been prepared by our government, by our mental health professionals. Like, things are different. When you're just out in the streets, things are different. People are, I talk to a lot of people that work in places. I was just talking, obviously my car was stolen, got that repaired. It was at a body shop. I was talking to this young woman. I'm a young woman, she's probably 35, but for me. And, she was just like, my customers people have been really rude. When I'm at the airport, I think I told you that interaction with that young woman. She was like, it's been a great day. No flights were canceled, so people don't come over and yell at me. Like, it's a 20-year-old woman of color. Like, look, the size of my daughter. There's something wrong mentally with this country, and we just want to go, it's Biden's fault, let's go back to drinking. Maybe if we stopped and kind of looked at what's going on and where we are, how our economy is restructured, like you said, Erica, to a gig economy, a lot where you're depending on somebody to loan you their home to stay in, their car to stay in. Somebody's going to drop their food off in their car for you. It's a different economy, and I think we're trying to look at it like it's 1985, and it's not, and it's probably not going back. Tori, what do you think?
I don't know, guys. I don't know if it's Biden's fault, but I certainly think Biden has the optics lay on Biden. So it doesn't really matter if it's his fault or not. So someone wrote, gas prices are astronomical. It's ridiculous. We know that it's about the war, but what are you going to do? And that's sort of where I am, where I'm like, it might not be Biden's fault. I don't know economics well. Inflation to me seems like price gouging and gas and the Saudis and oil. But to me, Biden's got to make it clear to make us understand what's going on and to make us feel what Erica said, a little more prepared instead of just like, it's not me. And someone said, people get all bent out of shape. We like to think our politicians could control the world, but they can't. But they can ease the world. They can help us feel more empowered. So right now, I'm a little like Biden, would love to hear more about what we can do, what you're doing, a plan, a bill. Other than saying, it's bizarre that they blame me. Yeah, that's what you're going to do. You're the president. The buck stops there. You know what I mean? I mean,
I would agree with that. The messaging has not been great.
Optics.
And also, people don't understand the economy.
Right,
so that's
people are just going to believe. No one does. It's like the cloud. No one knows. Coming up on
or
DBL.
the stock market.
Oh, my God. No idea. In honor of Father's Day weekend, we're going to talk about the best advice we've ever gotten from our dads. And Dr. Coley joins us in studio to talk all about the health stories making headlines, from Justin Bieber's medical battle to COVID vaccines for younger kids. That's coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by...
This June, DBL isn't holding back.
I've already spent my time and all of my sanity on trying to make you happy.
I like a little cheese on my potatoes. That was what's going on in my head.
That's what we need more of, conversations in this country like this show. Thank you.
DBL is all new every day.
Just so you know, I wanted to let you guys know that the plan, John Eastman's plan, who's the lawyer if you didn't know, was that Pence would count the ballots starting with Alabama, and when he got to Arizona, he would announce he would defer decision on it until finishing other states. So what that means is stall it. He would stall the certification, which was the whole goal of it. And if you do that, you kind of put people in a constitutional crisis of like, well, then who's in charge, right? So I thought that was super interesting. And again, that Mike Pence tweet they played at the January 6th, they said, given the states a chance to certify a corrected state of facts, not the fraudulent or inaccurate one, he didn't have the courage to do. And then he called him a wimp, and they said that's when the surge occurred.
I mean, this is a whole. I mean, there's still so many questions with all this. Like, where was I watched those January 6 hearings, and they're calling for backup, but it never comes.
What is the syndrome?
Well, and he has his own.
When I was watching it live in real time, I was like, if somebody broke into your home, and you called
so then
the
you're going to have
police,
to follow up. Okay, so
and
what is she?
they didn't clear your home for hours after that?
Right.
I thought that was so strange. There had to be police all around that were in the precinct like, should we go?
National Guard wasn't called. There's a whole question as to why those people weren't called. There's a picture, Al, I want to show you.
It's a question.
Yeah, right. Of Pence in this like indoor spot, and there's a curtain, and Karen Pence is going like this. I don't know. Are we still on? Oh, okay, never mind. Are we on or not?
I just don't know how much time we just ride.
Oh, okay. Anywho, there's a
30 seconds.
I know their nails are amazing.
30 seconds.
There's a picture of Karen Pence going like this. Okay, whatever. That was not great.
Front and back, because it looks like short.
Welcome back to DBL. More than a year and a half after the oldest Americans gain access to coronavirus vaccines, the FDA has now authorized vaccines for children as young as 6 months. I can't believe we're here.
I know.
Wow. Here to talk to us about this is our favorite doctor.
I'm here. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. It's not you.
Okay.
It's Dr. Coley. Hey, Doc.
Been around the world, Doc.
I have.
I know.
right.
It's travel.
Well, I am going to throw some questions at you really quickly. Obviously, we're talking about young kids getting vaccinated. And honestly, in the streets be talking. Everybody's like, look, kids don't get that sick with COVID. So should I risk getting my kid vaccinated? If worst case scenario, they probably won't get sick.
Such a great question. 100% yes. And I cannot wait for my niece and nephew. My niece is 6 months. My nephew's 4.5. They're going to go on Monday if that CDC approval comes through. I already called their parents. I already told them to keep their day off so they can take them. And there's lots of good reasons, even though, to your point, kids don't get as sick. So first is they're less likely to get infected. So that means less time out of work for you, less having them around, have to worry about babysitting. But even if they get infected, the illness is more likely to be mild and less likely to result in any kind of long COVID.
That's what I was like, the long COVID thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, chicken pox, if we get it as a kid, it can reactivate later in life and lives inside us forever. We don't know what COVID does to us 10 or 20 years later. So protecting our kids is really important. But it also helps in our fight against COVID. This is a proportion of the population that has not yet been vaccinated, but they spread it around. They're vectors for the infection. So getting them vaccinated is going to help us all to get our lives back to normal.
Right. I like that impact. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about Justin Bieber, because Justin Bieber shared some really serious news that he has half of his face paralyzed because of Ramsay Hunt syndrome. So what is the syndrome and how common is it?
This is so unfortunate because his life is being on television and it's part of his career. So Ramsay Hunt syndrome is essentially when you get chicken pox as a child, as I was just saying, you recover from the acute illness, but the virus lives inside your nerves forever. And then something makes your immune system suppress stress, infection,
touring the world,
yes. Not getting enough sleep.
Your wife having a stroke.
Yes.
Right.
And that can cause the virus to wake up and reactivate along a distribution. Actually, I had shingles when I was in training. I had worked for 5 days straight, 5 nights straight, had not slept, and I woke up one day, there was a rash around my back, and it was shingles, and And I was really happy because I got a day off. You can sleep. Yes.
Wow.
But the idea is that young people can get it too. Now, it's not all that common, Ramsay Hunt, involving the face. It's only about 5 out of 100,000. So usually occurs in older people. So seeing it in a young person like this, it's pretty dramatic. And I do hope that his recovery is somewhat good so that he can recover at least some function on his face.
Wow. Well, is shingles preventable?
Because everybody I know has had it, like, that's kind of over 50 years old,
mama.
and they said it's extremely painful.
Shingles is preventable, and that's the take-home message. So if you've not had chickenpox, then go get the chickenpox vaccine, because that's going to prevent you from ever even having to worry about it, for our kids as well. If you've had chickenpox like some of us, then get that shingles vaccine when you turn 50 years old, because that'll help to prevent the shingles.
There you go. All right, summer is here. Many states are facing record-breaking heat right now. It's hot right now. I'm hot.
It is. That's my career, though.
Oh, God.
It is. I'm sorry.
Can you give us some tips to stay safe from the heat, and like some signs also that you need to be worried about? You know me, I'm always like, I'm on it and no one's hurt. So what's some real signs?
So cool your body from the inside and the outside, okay? So you got to drink a lot of cold water, and that 8 glasses changes on a hot day because you're evaporating a lot of water off your skin. So you have to drink water basically until your urine is light colored, because if you wait for thirst, it's almost too late. Okay. Take cool showers. Make sure you keep your temperature at home lower than 90, during the day, and lower than 75 when you're sleeping at night. And if you're older or younger, like the kids or the older people, you can't regulate your temperature as well. So really important to stay in air conditioning, not go out in the middle of the day when it's really hot outside.
Wow. And if you don't have it, find a shelter or somewhere in your community that has it, like a center. Thank you so much, Dr. Coley, for providing all this information. If you all have a question you would like, there is a doctor here for you. Dr. Coley, please write us on social media.
Backup doctor.
You are not a doctor. Or send us an email at info@dailyblastlive.com. Again, Al is not licensed. We'll be right back.
Not yet.
QR codes have become popular with restaurants and other businesses throughout the pandemic as a touchless way to share information. Verify viewer Stephanie told us she received a postcard in the mail claiming to be from Amazon.com and inviting her to test a new product. The postcard said the recipient could scan a QR code to register their name and contact information if they're interested. And she wanted to know if it was legit. So we reached out to Amazon, and they confirmed that the postcard that Stephanie received, it's a scam, and it's not authorized by Amazon. The company encourages people not to respond to these types of messages. And that led us to question whether scammers can use QR codes to steal your personal information. So let's verify. Our sources are the Better Business Bureau and the FBI. Both the Better Business Bureau and the FBI issued warnings about QR code scams. The BBB says QR code scams are on the rise and have become a way for scammers to, quote, disguise malicious links since they can't be read by the human eye. The FBI says, quote, cybercriminals are tampering with QR codes to redirect victims to malicious sites that steal login and financial information, unquote. So we can verify, yes, scammers can use QR codes to steal your personal information. The BBB and the FBI offered these tips for avoiding QR code scams. 1. Don't scan QR codes that come in unsolicited messages from strangers, even if they promise gifts or other opportunities. 2. After scanning a code, check the website URL to make sure it's authentic before entering any personal information. And finally, don't download apps from QR codes. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till. Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back to DBL. With Father's Day coming up this Sunday, many people will be celebrating the wisdom that makes their dads special. And online, people are sharing important advice from their dads that made a difference in their lives. So here's some of the fatherly advice that's being shared. Ready? First up, make sure you have a 401k.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
Next, if someone doesn't want to be with you, that's on them.
Okay.
Someone just shouted, yeah. This one's inspiring. Treat every day like it's the start of the rest of your life, because it is. Here's a good one. You have 2 years.
Sounds like a terrible idea. How about you build every day and don't start from scratch?
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Here's a good one. You have 2 ears and only 1 mouth, so listen more than you talk. And this one sounds like a true dad. Show me your friends and I will tell you who you are.
My dad used to say that.
Is that
and
true?
I'll agree with that one. I'll agree with that one.
Okay, so let's start and talk about what your fathers did for you. Al, you start since you're on it. Tell us what your dad was like and what advice he gave you.
My dad was a lawyer, very prudent with his words, very measured, never cursed, never drank. He's like a real straight up and down kind of guy. And he used to always tell me people are always watching. And I tell my kids that. And I didn't realize what that meant at the time. It took me until I was in my 40s to realize, oh, that's exactly. People are always watching what you do, what you say, even when you think that's your friend and you can kind of mess around. Like people are always, even people that aren't talking to you, is like seeing how you're interacting. So it's a big deal.
Very,
Erica,
very smart.
I have to know what
Roosevelt, tell us everything.
I think the advice that stands out to me the most was right when my life was falling apart, and he called me and said, Erica, sometimes what you wanted at 21 isn't what you want at 31, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And now that I'm 41, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of things that I wanted at 31 that I don't want at 41, and that's okay.
And did it help you at that moment?
Oh, yeah, it totally freed me because I thought I have to stay, like I made a decision.
You thought you were failing the path that you were, God put you on the set, and you're like, oh, I don't have to do this.
Yeah, I made decisions, and I was going to stick by those decisions, and he was like, you don't necessarily have to stick by every single decision because some of your decisions at 21 were very wrong.
You were very, very wrong. That's really cute. My dad is very patient, unlike me.
Your dad's also an attorney.
Very cool attorney, very soft guy, very gentle man. And he always said this, and I think it speaks to who he is. He would say, the worst thing that can happen when it rains is you get wet. And that sort of tells you a lot about him. Nothing really mattered unless someone died.
Right.
So like all the little things, you get a middle seat on an airline to, across the state, or you get this, your favorite restaurant's closed or something. None of that ever bothered him.
Right.
And he just stayed super patient. And if I can learn anything from him, it's his patience, which is not easy.
One thing I did kind of, and it's weird because I kind of gave this advice to myself, and now I give it to my kids, and also my friends as well, because what you just said kind of reminded me. There are situations as an adult where you find yourself getting stressed. You're waiting in traffic. You're waiting in a line you shouldn't be in.
Right.
You're at the
He's very
DMV.
zen.
You're mad. And I had this weird situation that happened last week because I've been telling myself, fight to find something beautiful or funny that's happening in a situation where for your whole life you would have been mad and steaming all day, and I had to do some nonsense down at the courthouse, return the piece of paper. It was 2 hours out of my day, and I was mad, and I was like, but I finally got it done, and I was handing the piece of paper to this woman, and I looked, and to the left of me is two couples getting married. It was so beautiful. It was like 9 in the morning, and it was just them, and it was so beautiful. It was like, oh, if I had just not looked, I'd have just been mad, but it was so beautiful, It's like they were clearly not from this country, so it was
very special moment.
So they were in the United States, and definitely both couples were from different countries. So it was just these
melting pot.
And I was like, who cares about my receipt that I was getting? So it's that's what I keep fighting for. Is there's so much good stuff, and we just complain all day.
Yeah.
It's we're alive. Everything's okay. Your kids are running around.
Right.
People are still here after COVID. Everybody's so mad. We need to bring it back because it's way out of control right now.
Let me bring it back to an Al and say, you probably wouldn't have noticed those two couples if you weren't such a huge fan of 90 Day Fiancé.
Yes, I thought about that. I was doing a little casting too. I was they're beautiful. One was a gorgeous Russian dude and a woman from Thailand. I was y'all should go to the show.
Oh, God. Yeah. Erica, thank you for that because I got to fix my makeup. That was lovely, Al. And you know what? That's the best dad advice. He is a dad, and we appreciate you. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Oh.
Wow.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Do you need some good news in your life? A little sunshine to brighten up those cloudy gray days? Well, then do I have a story for you. One day, a few New York doctors at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center had an idea, and they wanted to organize an experimental study. Now, the funding they received was so teeny tiny that the study only included 12 patients, and they were all recently diagnosed with colorectal cancer, which is the second most common cause of cancer deaths in the U.S. this year. All 12 of them were in stage 2 or 3 of the disease. All 12 had yet to try chemo or surgery, and the cancer they did have had not yet spread to other organs. It's also super important to note that all 12 had tumors with a specific genetic mutation. It's called mismatch repair deficiency, or MMRD tumors. These guys are quite resistant to chemo and radiation. The experiment rested on a drug called dostarlimab. Doctors have used it before to treat other cancers, but never rectal cancer. This drug is a type of drug called an immune checkpoint inhibitor. And instead of going ahead and killing the cancer cells itself, this drug, this little nifty little guy, he goes into the body, he identifies and unmasks cancer cells Scooby-Doo style, and then binds to it and helps the body's own immune system attack those cells efficiently. So the 12 patients, they received an infusion of dostarlimab once every 3 weeks for 6 months. This treatment, and this is super important, was supposed to be followed up with chemotherapy and surgery for the participants. But let me tell you something amazing. Not one of the 12 patients needed it. 6 months after beginning the drug, all 12 were in complete remission, with nary a tumor being detected from any of them. And not one patient relapsed during the follow-up period, which was up to 2 years. Best of all, the 12 who were preparing for these life-changing procedures, if this didn't work, had virtually zero complications or side effects. You just don't hear this. 100% rate of cancer remission, it's unheard of. Quote, "I believe this is the first time this has happened in the history of cancer," said medical oncologist Louis Diaz Jr. The co-author of the paper, Dr. Andrea Sersic, added the experiment resulted in, quote, "a lot of happy tears." Now, the British pharmaceutical company GlaxoSmithKline will be expanding the budget and the study to include more patients and to see if the results can be replicated. But it does offer us a light at the end of a very, very long tunnel. Now you know.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. We have to give a big DBL shout out to the Golden State Warriors.
Yay.
Steph Curry, I know a couple things about it.
Yes.
Jordan Poole.
Yes.
Huh? Coach Kerr.
Yes, shout out to him.
The team claimed another championship last night, defeating the Celtics 103-90 in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. This is their 4th title in the last 8 seasons. They celebrated by spraying each other down with ridiculously expensive bottles of champagne.
Can we do that when this show ends? Why are we cheaping out a little bit? Just every show, a little champagne back. Shout out to them, yes. So shout out to
congratulations, Mazel Tov. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Bye, guys.